Hello and welcome to the Boostara Podcast. I am your host, James. On the Boostara Podcast, we speak to leaders in business and uncover the truths and insights to their amazing experiences. On the Boostara Podcast, we help companies boost growth, cut costs, and gain better business insights. If you'd like to learn more about how we can help you, type the word growth into the comments below, and I will be sure to reach out. Today, in January, it's a cold, miserable January, at least where I am. We are very, very excited to be joined by Paulo Castro, ERSG Health and Safety Auditor. Hello and welcome, Paulo.
Thank you very much, James. It's a pleasure to stay with you to have this kind of conversation.
Yeah, well, brilliant to have you on, Paulo. I'm in the UK. Where are you calling us from today?
I'm from Portugal.
Brilliant. Excellent, Paulo. Well, I guess for those of our listeners that are not familiar with, yourself, could you give us a bit of an introduction to you, Paulo, and your journey to where you are today?
Sure, thanks, James. So my name is Paulo. I'm 45 years old. I have more than 20 years of experience in construction engineer. Normally, my roles is health and safety advisor, supervisor, manager, superintendent, whatever it is, with the different necessaries that the company have. And after 2015, I start to work like a freelancer because I see gaps between companies and candidates, and most of the companies start to contact me directly by email or LinkedIn, and I thinking by myself, why not create one platform that help the companies and the candidates? After this, I started after 2022 to develop this kind of platform in Bubble no-code platform, and it's a fantastic experience. I enjoy because it's necessary to test it. It's necessary to validate it with the different potential customers and receive this kind of feedback is great. I receive fantastic feedbacks, and with this kind of feedbacks, I can adjust whatever it is that necessary to give the most or as soon as possible, immediately the candidate, the right candidate that perhaps consider like a talent, because in some specific market, construction engineer is very, very hard to have this kind of people. And for the companies to save the different business, it's necessary to have the right people. Why? Because if you have the right people, can reduce the costs, can avoid undesirable events. We talk about more specifically related with the safety also, because if you have people with a good background, good knowledge, experience, different expertise, is very, very important to avoid this. And for the construction, it's necessary also to pass a good image for the different projects. Particular, I like it, the height project, because normally, one project is necessary to consider by myself like a challenge. And I love test myself. I love all-time studies, put different strategy on site. Obvious, we can have this experience, and this is important to study the different workers, the historic personal that have, for example, if have some problems related at home, for example, and can pass it on site is very, very dangerous, because obviously we have different issues, personal and professional, but it's necessary to balance and to have this kind of let me say, bridge between personal and professional life. Obviously, the family is the most important. I consider, for me, first is the family after the work, and because it's the base of success. Let me say like this, and obvious after this, I have great feedbacks all times. For example, I remember I have one. Today I receive one person that are interesting to try to pass it BRAPTT like a case success in United Emirates, for example, and
Mm.
is great also because I see that BRAPTT step by step show the results. For example, this week, for your information, James, between Wednesday and Friday, I participate in Scale Up Now. It's fantastic experience. BRAPTT is selected for 12 startups, and is great also because the United States market arrived, let me say like this, and is a fantastic experience to show for like a Silicon Valley, let me say like this,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
the best from BRAPTT and why we are here and why we want to make this success and to want to make this testimonial, let me say like this, from the different companies. So basically, BRAPTT are here to help and obvious to make part of the success of the different company.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm curious, Paolo, what would you say is the biggest difference between, construction companies and also, construction employees, staff, not just using a standard construction recruiter, to find their job, to do that matchmaking. How is BRAPTT, that different to just using a normal recruitment agency?
So BRAP is different because have a background, a specialized person in construction engineer, obvious, with the respect of a human resource, have the ATS platform or job platform, but in our opinion, don't have the success because don't know exactly uh, the experience, for example, that perhaps have in the different market construction, no matter if petrochemical, chemical, refinery, nuclear, hydro, um, offshore, whatever it is. And, it's necessary to have these relationships also with the different candidates, with the different stakeholders, to know
Mm.
exactly what's the difficulties to have this kind of candidates. And obvious is important when you design one platform. Is important this platform makes sense. Obvious is necessary test all time. It's necessary to avoid, for example, that someone uh, out of this experience, out of construction engineering experience, entry on site in this web application, and we have this immediately. For example, I remember one thing that make difference because the most of the companies have necessaries like for yesterday, have one switch on or switch off for immediately available. This is one thing that I including for the platform and to make this kind of difference. And more than
Mm.
this is the tests that have inside of the platform. We can test exactly if the people are specific for one specific job. You
Mm.
understand? So
Yeah. Yeah.
is a fantastic also. It's necessary to enter in the dashboard to enjoy and to test the most value that this platform give to the companies.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I think that's one thing, at least from my mind, being someone that doesn't understand construction at all, is that um, the um, the the amount of specialist labor that you need to do particular jobs on a construction site is it's just huge, right? And being able to find the personnel, it's not like just you're finding someone in marketing, you're finding someone in sales. It's like people with very specific skill sets, and having that particular availability for when they're needed in a year or in a particular location. Having that information at hand, I guess, must be hugely valuable, for both but for both the potential staff members, right, and the construction companies. You mentioned the success that that you've had so far in being able to matchmake people. I guess how do you get this out to more people? How do you scale BRAPTT out to be mainstream amongst all construction companies and construction workers?
Basically, normally, for example, I have one integration in LinkedIn to the platform to catch, for example, this kind of candidate. I make attentive with the different necessity that the company have. And normally I receive some alerts in the platform. And after this, I can contact immediately with the companies to present the BRAPTT and after can test and after if are satisfied add with one plan more specific with an accessory no matter if monthly annually imagine that have necessities all years makes sense have one plan for all year is more can reduce the cost and can save more money and with this I started to pass it and to help support to registering the platform, to login, and after to put the job, and after is if it's necessary, have AI chat that help with the different bottoms, like we say, and with the different steps. And after this, is necessary some specific, and if makes sense for me, I can help immediately and contactly because I receive emails with the different questions. But more or less, the companies don't have difficulty. Why? Because, James, because I study and I put in the other place, not because I'm developer, you know what I mean? I put in the other place. I put in the place of the companies and the place of the human resource is necessary to design one platform that facilitate and help the human resource to catch this kind of candidates. So basically, is necessary, not complicated, it's necessary to something simple, easily, effective, and, quickly to have this because this is something that make part of the difference and to make some experience, a user experience.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I guess it is a challenge to because you have to find both the construction companies to use the platform, but also the staff members that they're looking for, the
Yes.
construction workers that they're looking for. And I suppose the approach that you take in getting both on the platform has to be different. I mean, is it more difficult to find the construction companies or to find the construction workers, or is it both both are kind of similar challenge?
Is both. But for example, last year, so I have a marketing department, let me say like this, and we make a marketing plan that in the last 3 months, so October, November, December, we decided to catch more than 2015, 215 candidates specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why? Because I see the different position normally that more highly. And I remember, okay, if the company have 3, 4, or 5 person to have this kind of, let me say, challenge. You imagine the candidate that are challenged for one company that is more decided, let me say like this, and imagine the company that won't desire this kind of candidate. So this is fantastic, because can have this positive challenge, and after this, the company have more options, more effective and positive option to have this kind of candidate. So this is something that I tested last year, and now this year, for example, I would like to test it more to the companies to make some demonstration, to show the results, and the job is necessary to have some strategy. Also, it's necessary to create a good relationship, a good partnerships, and I have this. and mouth-to-mouth function very well, for example, and the demonstration, is great because I know exactly how function the business. And for me, it's easily because I'm really expertise, and I'm not attention. John, I'm not considered a human resource, but I'm considered a person that can help the human resource to have this effectivity and right candidate. This
Yeah.
is the difference. The BRAPTT not replaced the human resources person, let me say like this, is something can help to facilitate to have this kind of candidates.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. Yeah, no, I think it's a really, really exciting platform.
Right.
I guess, an interesting question for those that might be listening. They're related to that. There might be a construction company or related in some way. Um, are there any sort of misconceptions or pushbacks that you get from maybe either the construction companies or the workers to actually use the platform? What would you say to those people that are like, oh, I'd rather just go to an agency and a traditional recruitment agency? What are the sort of common misconceptions or pushbacks that you get from people when they first hear about you? I think the demonstration must obviously show like, okay, wow, I understand this now. But what's those first thoughts or those common thoughts you get from people that are like, man, maybe not, maybe we don't need. What do people say initially?
So initially, it's necessary, it's necessary that pass the real history of BRAPTT. BRAPTT only exists after 2023, so it's normal not look with a good eyes, let me say like this, to compare
Yeah.
with others platform. But don't have, for your information, any directly platform from construction engineer for information. This is one
Yeah.
and the first solution that have in the market. After this, obvious, have for others business, but for construction engineer don't have. This is something that make the difference. And after, obvious, the companies and the CEOs or human resource uh, not initial, not see like you mentioned, with a good positive think, because thinking like others platform that tested and don't see the results because is very frustrated again. It's necessary to put in another place. It's necessary to convince the person that want to have attention and to want to have this kind of candidate. It's
Yeah.
necessary to understand what's the pain,
Yeah.
uh, why have difficult to recruit when a specific person is necessary. Test the stat, test the process, the recruitment process is effective. Why not have this I cannot say immediately, but why don't have this as soon as possible candidate to have this kind of business? For example, I remember one company last year that make me a challenge by myself. He won't hire me, but I can't work in Spain because I have a specific law that is necessary to have academical course recognized in Spain, for example. But I help to this company with six specialized person like a preservation supervisor. Imagine this, James. It's a fantastic. The company after this decide what's the most interesting, like Mister like this. But imagine this: how the conquerors, how easily after 48 hours, because it's fantastic also, and to have this kind of candidates and arrive more than 10. Imagine this 10 specialized candidates for one specific job, one specific function. Imagine this. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's great because the company love and after this want to have a partnership, to use it, the platform, and obvious to have some plan for the necessary, no matter if it's monthly or yearly, but
Yeah.
they test it, they want, BRAPTT show the result, and after this, total satisfaction and say,
Yeah.
Paulo, I want this. And for me, it's fantastic because, again, I see the results, it's necessary to a hard working, to study. For example, I use 80% of study and 20% of execution. And
Mm.
because all days is necessary to think, is necessary to test it, we don't know the result.
Yeah.
This is the reason I love this kind of companies
Mm.
because we don't have is different from the traditional company, James. And
Mm.
for this reason, I would like to continue because I believe that BRAPTT are here to make the difference and to pass the message that, for example, the companies can look like a concurrence, can
Yeah.
look like a partner. Because imagine this, Jane. You have a business and I have a business. Okay. Paul, did you have some specific person? Because I need this person to catch the client and the
Mm.
client give me more business. Okay, why not? And we
Mm.
decide the percentage, is important, this, James. And
Mm.
vice versa, uh, James, you have this specific person because this client have more like 18 succursals, for example, in
Mm.
the worldwide. It's fantastic, James. This is the view is necessary and the mindset that is necessary that people have. For example, I remember last year, one company contact me. Imagine one marketing business owner contact me. Paul, I'm really interested because I'm hearing your platform is fantastic. But we imagine this: we have a marketing market.
Yeah.
So if you have something, please not hesitate, contact me, and after we decide the percentage. Imagine this. So the
Mhm.
people look this example for others' business.
Yeah.
And one challenge for me that most people think and say, Paul, why you not generalist this kind of class? And I explain, no, because this not make sense. Makes
Mm.
sense in what I have experience, knowledge, expertise, and this is one passed from the platform and want exactly for this specific market, and
Mm.
this specific market can win more money because
Yeah.
this is something, James, that you not believe it, but the construction market is very, very um, high. The most of the company win money,
Mm.
and worldwide. And for example, I remember in Portugal, the GDP is more than 5.2%. So the
Mm.
construction have all days. We cannot stop at this. So it's necessary the candidates. It's necessary the position. So this is something that
Yeah.
we need to think for
And the
the
thing is,
for the
when,
present.
when you've got those candidates on the platform with those very specific jobs, then they stay on the platform, and their contracts eventually run out on whatever site that they're working on, whatever construction agency they're with. But because they're already on the platform, then they're available, right, for the next job. It's a very specific area that needs that speed, right? Because construction has slowed down by not being able to get the personnel, to get the people in place that they need to meet the deadlines that they've got, right? So having something like BRAPTT where the right people are in the right place and can connect with each other quickly, that's a win-win for everyone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
You mentioned, Paolo, AI a couple of times, so I kind of want to get your your position, your opinion on just, I suppose, the role that AI is playing within construction, within recruitment. I take it you have a quite a positive outlook, but what are you seeing the impact that AI is playing out kind of within your space?
So obvious, the AI transform, in my opinion, the recruitment selection, but not replace the
Mm.
human person. Let me say like this, but can support, like I mentioned in the beginning. If you instruct very well, you need to imagine. one function, one physical function, and pass it to this by intelligent or artificial intelligent person with the right instruction. And after with this right instruction, you can have all, and you need only to adjust what the message and what the answers that you want. And after this, imagine this, and you adapted this in the construction engineering market. It's a fantastic, but obvious again, for the expertise or something specific, if the AI are not training, we can training this by myself, obvious, because I have knowledge and experience in development. And after this, we can have the best solutions and the best answers and attention for the different potential customer, no matter if it's candidates or companies. And
Yeah.
after this, obvious, we can say that BRAPTT considered like a talent platform
Yeah.
specialized in AI, focus in construction engineer sectors. And with this, uh, I think is great because imagine this: you arrive in the landing page, and you don't know exactly how to sign up, how to log in, and you can have a chatbot that help you step by step. Sign, log in, post what job, if you are a candidate, how can I apply one job? Explain in detail is great because it's necessary to put the keywords also, and
Yeah.
after this more the SEO function very well because you write in Google and immediately BRAPTT show that is one alternative platform for
Yeah.
the recruitment selection.
Yeah.
James.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. Your question I ask everyone on the show and ask you now is, if you can use AI, for what you're doing with the platform, right? The journey that you're going on with BRAPTT. If you can use AI to just take away one part of the job for you, it's just hands free, or develop the company in one such way, what would have the biggest impact on BRAPTT, on yourself and BRAPTT, if you could get AI to do anything within the company?
So basically, the AI for me help to solve the different problems and to have this solution for the different problems that the company have to solve to hiring some specific candidate. And for myself, for example, help me because I training and I adjust what is necessary. And after
Mm,
this, they give me send alerts that one specific company have this question because working 24 hours 7 by 7, for example. And
mm,
I remember for example that one company um, interesting for this kind of AI introduction
mm,
in this kind of platform and asked me for example if I would like to test it and to pass it some AI chatbots in the different sites or construction sites or integrate by WhatsApp, for example,
mm,
because it's love when you are not occupied for the traditional tasks and you can automate for the different process, and for me, this automation working very well
yeah,
if you using with the right platform, and it's not. The people ask, but it's so expensive. No, it's not expensive. Depends on what you need for your business
yeah,
and what the results want to show to
yeah,
you, and what help to you to more focus in right value. James.
mm,
Then this, I can with this we can expand it more than the database. I remember the AI can again with the integration with LinkedIn can have, for example, more candidates because I remember one company passed it. Paul, it's too expensive to use the LinkedIn, I paid 17 GBPs per year. Imagine this, Shane. Wow, it's something expensive and not promised talents like mentioned talents. So,
Yeah.
and I say, wow, okay, this is something that is necessary to construct, is necessary to understood why, but obvious. When I start to learning human research, let me say like this, and
Right.
specialized, adapted in this market, I see that the gaps that I mentioned, in the beginning, that have different gaps between the companies and then the candidates, and
Mm.
why not have this connection or
Yeah.
this match, let me say like this. And when I tested this in BRAPTT, is a fantastic experience. But James, when entrepreneur don't have hours, obvious, I have time for the family, but it's
Mhm.
necessary to study, it's necessary to practical. And we don't have one formula. We don't have the result exactly, but if we
And
not test, we don't know exactly it's function or not. So
exactly. Yeah.
it's great. It's
Y-
great.
you've got to be able to look at the potential ROI, right? Based off of the problem that you're solving, right? And in that case, the ROI is there and you're solving a problem and it's scalable, then the investment of whatever tech stack it might be, whatever AI integration you're doing, it should make sense. But if the cost of it doesn't match up with the the ROI, right, then and the
Exactly.
problem, right, and it's not scalable, then you don't go with it. But obviously, what you've worked on and what you've tested, that works, right, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's solving that problem in a market that
Exactly.
that needs that. Paolo, going into the future, what's coming up for BRAPTT in the next kind of period? What are you aiming towards? And I suppose what's the big question would be what's the difficulty in getting this out more mainstream, right?
Yes. So in the future, I think create some BRAPTT Academy. Imagine these talents that BRAPTT consider in your database that can pass a different course. Uh, Imagine inside can pass the difference course that have inside of the platform because I have a partnership with training enterprise
Yeah.
and imagine to retain this talent and to create some academy and to evaluate it and to grow these talents with the most hiring talent, like me say like this, like a top talent. Imagine this to adjust the different um, expertise, no matter if it's, for example, work at height, confining spaces,
Right.
um, construction, maintenance, for example, excavation.
Yeah.
Imagine the different specification, and
Mm.
with this academy, create a strength partnerships between the platform, the candidates, and the companies. And the companies have this access of the academy. And again, this academy created with AI plus construction engineer,
Right.
and to have a big future and a high impact digital because it is. Uh, Makes sense that scale it breadth sustainable, and with this, we thinking that this kind of platform, more or less, in Europe and out of Europe, can be one alternative, interesting alternative for the different companies.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, and I think so. I mean, I have a few friends that work in construction in a range of different positions, and they from time to time been reaching out and looking for I'm looking for a new job, I'm looking for a new role, can someone help direct me in the right direction? That having people understand, well, if you are in construction, especially if you have a very specialist job, this is the platform that you should just be on, right? And them always feeling that that's the kind of security from their side, that they know where that they'll be able to find that next job, right? It's always going to be accessible. Their profile is there, right? They're easy to find. And then from the construction side, it's exactly the same, right? It's that security of knowing that you've got access to those specialists in abundance, that will be able to kickstart the project or continue the project that they're on. I guess, Paolo, from this conversation, from anyone listening to this podcast episode, who would you most like to kind of reach out to yourself?
I'd like to say that after this and this experience,
Mhm.
I can say that is great uh, to see the result of the different steps and the different conquers
Mm,
that BRAPTT made yearly by yearly, and see the different testimonial, and see also that the path is very long,
mm,
and you know 2026 is I think is the year that BRAPTT to scale up. This is
yeah,
our objective, because we start to see the different conversation and the different results that can perhaps grow up out of, well, let me say, of Portugal, of
mm,
Europe, and with the specific markets. And I think is we need to change our, let me say, business to grow up, because we think it like a small, medium company, for your
yeah,
information. And after, I think is with the different results and with the different feedbacks, I think we is like a rocket,
yeah.
we need to scale, and I think we not stop it, because the companies more or less start to see it brought to make the difference from the others platforms, with the
Mm,
respect, obviously.
yeah. I guess any construction directors, owners listening, definitely reach out to yourself to book a demo, right? If they're
Exactly.
interested in learning more. And anyone within the sector that are those specialist jobs, probably just get yourself on the platform and test and try it out. Brilliant. But I guess, to summarize this conversation, Paolo, I'd say a few things. Number one, I mean, the power of specialism. You've said that word quite a few times. Like you could just have, and there are those very general hiring platforms out there, but they don't serve any purpose when the jobs are very, very specific. And if anything, the more information and the more people and the more companies and countries that are on there, then the less valuable it is. What you've built is something that's specific within the construction engineering
Exactly.
space, that provides value for them, for their specific pain points, candidates and companies alike, to help them find each other faster, right? And that keeping that specification, those it very niche in that area, is extremely valuable. That's I think number one, that I know you feel passionate about, and we can see the results from BRAPTT, right?
Well, so,
I would say number two, AI. When it comes to AI, you spoke at it at length there. The ROI. It can be expensive. It can be complicated. Some of the automations that we put in, but you must understand the problem that you're solving. You must understand the return that's going to bring for yourself and for those involved, right? And if that
exactly.
makes sense, then just do it, because the technology is evolving, the technology is getting better all the time. And as long as it's solving a problem and not just there to look pretty, then you put it in place, right? And that's from BRAPT. You've tested and tried in so many different ways to make sure that you are accurately solving that problem. for your clients, then it makes sense for the stage that you're at now, which is scale and bring this solution to more companies. I think, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
But absolutely amazing having you on today, Paulo. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you too, James. It's a pleasure. Thanks for this conversation. I think is one of the most conversations that we can have in the next future, and is really appreciated because I learned more about you and your different podcasts, and where you start to um, have the first conversation. Immediately, I start to study you, and I see you have a big value with your idea with the podcast AI also, and something that immediately I need to connect with James because James is the key person that can help me, and obvious help James also with this kind of opportunity, like me say like this. Thanks again a lot.
That's very, very kind of you, Paulo. Thank you very much. And everyone listening, thank you so much for listening. Please do like and share this video so we can get this message out to as many people as possible. Thank you.